Well, I don't think we're reinventing the system. I think we're actually building a brand new one. Okay, well, my name is Michael Sani. I'm CEO of Ballot and a new member of the Ashoka network, recently become Ashoka Fellow. In this country we've got a national curriculum that's not really fit for purpose. It doesn't educate and engage our younger citizens in democracy and their role as citizens. You know, many young people grow up believing they're a consumer long before they're a citizen. So it's these principles that we need to address. You know, essentially want to become the leader in the digital democracy space, because everything else young people are doing is mainly online, whether it's falling in love, banking, or for social pleasure, and we need to bring that political angle into it. So people need to feel like they've got a role to play, not just an X in a box, but beyond that, you know, whether they're activists themselves or setting about little changes. And I think it's that concept that I learned early on, that, okay, Bite the Ballot needs to be a force, it needs to create a brand, it needs to be, it can't be afraid to spotlight bad practice, so that's the kicking and screaming from the outside, but then at the same time, an element of change must come from within, so we have to build those relationships with current decision makers, with current influential bodies, so it's almost like kicking and screaming from the outside but whispering through the back door to try and implement change. Well, I think there's a thin line between risk and just actually being crazy. And I would say I'm probably leaning more to the side of crazy, especially in the eyes of my family and friends, because I quit a well-paid job and everyone was like, oh, so what, you know, what are you going to do? And I was like, well, I'm going to engage young people in politics. It's like, what? How do I cope when things go wrong? It's special. It's quite addictive actually. When you weigh things up and you're like, oh, if this goes wrong, I could lose my flat or I could lose this, but then at the same time, if it goes right, we could instigate something really special, and you always tend to go for the positive than the negative. So yeah, I'm a risk taker. My vision for the future would be a society where people come before profit. I'd like to think that we can get to a place where a country is not measured by its GDP, it's actually measured by the well-being of its people.